So
Mhm.
if you're 54 and you always thought your whole career I have work coverage and they let you go, well, have fun getting an insurance policy at 54 years old for a reasonable price. And nobody likes talking about this. I don't know why. but, but you do not want the courts deciding where your kids go.
Mhm. Divorce can be emotionally and financially overwhelming. That's why I'm teaming up with Sunny Wishart, president and founder of a la carte Financial and a certified financial planner. We will show you how to understand all things money without feeling ashamed, overwhelmed, embarrassed. You will learn more, ask questions. No question is a dumb question. Welcome to Money with Sunny. Let's get into it. Morning, Sunny.
Good morning.
So today we're going to talk about insurance. What is it? Should you have it? What should you be considering? Now, Sunny is a certified financial planner, not an insurance broker, but she has enough experience working with women who are transitioning through divorce that we feel like we need to at least bring insurance into your mind and something you should consider. If you are looking for more insurance guidance or an insurance broker, reach out to Sunny and she'll put you in touch with someone who can expand on what you need for your unique situation. What is insurance and what should we be considering? What should people be considering right now, Sunny?
Yeah, so you kind of had that nice little caveat in the beginning that I'm not an insurance specialist, but I do have some knowledge of what's out there and how to protect yourself. So insurance is a risk protection. It protects you against a risk of the what if this and what if that. So depending on where you at, the bottom line thing you want to do is first of all think about insurance because, and we're talking about life insurance, I suppose, in this case. And what I mean by think about life insurance is not trying to put a pin on how much you need, but painting the picture of what it would look like if you or your spouse or ex-spouse were to pass. What does this look, what does it mean to you? So you are working through these separation agreements, and perhaps there's some sort of child support entitlement. What if he were to pass? Does he have enough insurance, particularly for your kids, to cover those payments in the interim? And this is where we start talking about things like term policies. So you can set up these life insurance products that have a period of time. So say till the kids are 25 and X amount of dollars that are go to the kids if he were to pass. He may have other policies through work. Sometimes they're like, oh, I have a work policy. I'm good. It's 2 to 3 times your salary. It's not a lot of money. And if he has any other liabilities, he has to make sure his personal estate's getting settled up. So you generally want a policy specifically to cover those obligations for the time frame required. So these are conversations to be having. And on the flip side, what were to happen if you were to pass? And nobody likes talking about this. I don't know why. but, but again, in my space, it happens. And I couple these two conversations together, wills and life insurance. They're very hand in hand, particularly when you have minor youth in the mix. You do not want the courts deciding where your kids go.
Mhm.
And if so, you want an insurance policy in place to help fund your children if something were to happen to you. And two, you want that will in place to make sure they go to where everyone agrees.
Okay, so if I am not sure whether there's an insurance policy in place right now, how can I find out?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Well, if there is one in place, there's likely a premium coming out of your bank account. So
Okay.
that's probably an indicator where there's a certain amount of money. will be coming into your account, and you can just call that company and they will indicate to you what you have, who your rep is, when, why. And there's all different kinds of policies. So you want to be super clear. Is this one that is one of those ones that's finite? Is it an end date? Or is there's permanent policies, the ones that stay until you die? There's some other ones that some couples set up that's like you can take it out together, and it's called a joint last to die. So if you pass, it doesn't pay out till the last spouse dies. These
Mhm.
are things you do need to see if you have, because especially if you're divorcing, you don't want to be paying for this policy that hinges on the last person that might not be you. So you want to kind of tidy these things up.
Okay, so if the premium isn't coming out of my bank account and is coming out of my spouse's bank account, um, and I don't know about it, will I find out about it or how does that work?
This is something that should come out when you're listing your assets, and they make you fill out that form for your lawyer of what
Hmm.
you have, and an insurance policy certain would get flushed out there.
All right, and then I need to, so what's your recommendation then? And I know you're not an insurance broker, but what's your recommendation then, uh, whether I have an insurance policy or don't? What kind of I should get a term insurance policy, or that might be something I'd consider, and it would cover and it would be if I die, then my kids will get this much money. Is that
So
kind of how it works?
it's a bit broad. Because you definitely would talk to the insurance specialist about your current needs. So, for example, you are in the home and you have a mortgage. Well, if you die, is that mortgage going to get paid?
Hmm.
Where are the kids going? And all these answers help generate what type of policy is right for you. How much is left on, like, did you want the house to stay in place for the kids, or you're going to have to liquidate the home? Do you want the whole value to go through the estate? Then you'll need a policy to cover the mortgage, which is always recommended to just at least get that mortgage covered. So then there's term and there's permanent, and they're all for very different reasons and very different individual needs.
Hmm.
So if you want to make sure you have a trusted insurance specialist. There are
Yeah.
some really good ones out there, I promise. And then they can speak to you about your needs and the types of coverage. And then make sure, if there's a need for a permanent or whatnot. Because, like I say, those work plans, because again, a lot of people like to kind of wave it away because I have coverage with work. But the minute you don't work there, it's gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you're 54 and you always thought your whole career I have work coverage and they let you go, well, have fun getting an insurance policy at 54 years old for a reasonable price.
So
So,
you say it'll be a lot more expensive then when you go talk to your insurance broker. It's going to be a lot more expensive if you're no longer covered through your work. It's just over with at your work. It stops, and now you have to go find another policy.
and now
Wow.
yeah,
Hmm.
and the older you get, obviously, the more expensive you are because the likelihood of you passing gets slimmer.
So then
Not a
the insurance company has to make their money. So then they're going to charge you more every month to have this policy.
yeah.
Okay. Now you also mentioned that wills and insurance are kind of tied together. So what if I don't have a will? Where do I start with that? I don't have a will. Yeah. Sunny's panicking. Good thing I didn't talk to her about this a few years ago. Yeah. Took me a minute. Took me a minute. That's why we're here. Get your will organized. Okay, so who
Yeah.
should I DIY my will? Should I call a lawyer? Do you have recommendations? Where can I start to learn about, what I need to put in my will?
Yeah, so if you have a fairly simple estate, meaning you've got some assets, yada yada, pretty straightforward, go ahead and DIY. they're coming up okay. But if you have any complications whatsoever, which would be divorce, that's an extra layer. I would 100% advise you speak to a proper wills lawyer, family law, to make sure that your estate wishes are being met, and protected properly. So there's a
Now,
lot.
if I'm in the middle of things or just considering divorce now, should I, quickly go out and create a will, or should I wait till I get everything sorted out with my spouse and then draft a will? Because it'll probably have to change afterwards anyways. Is that right?
Yeah, usually once you need the assets to be divided in order to properly list the assets. And the other thing too that I've seen is when people divorce and they're, say, sharing custody of the kids, they're not agreeing who would have the kids if both were to pass.
Mm.
And that is a part of the will process. So, and that you should both, because if I don't know why they're both not going to be in a car accident, but you never know. And with this not being able to agree, they've decided to just put off doing the wills.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend speaking to a family lawyer and saying, what can I do in this case? How do I move forward with just protecting myself and my kids? Well, we can't agree on this one subject, and see what they can do. That again is in that wheelhouse. But when you're in transition, the wills can wait a few more months. I don't like saying that. I should probably never say that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But as opposed to, you probably have enough on your plate to let alone start putting a will together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's something that you should be doing pretty quickly, as quick as you can, um, as soon as you can, as soon as you can. Like get talk to an insurance broker, reach out to Sunny. Do you know people that can help put a will together as well?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's important. Yeah, that this is really good. This is good stuff. I mean, this is now, get your pen and paper out, go back to that folder, and this is the army of people that you're creating, the who's that need to be in your corner to get your stuff organized. So insurance, see what you need and don't need. Will, figure things out, talk to your family law lawyer, reach out to Sunny. And you can go, you can Google stuff and check it out too, like what needs to be in my will. I mean, get some information, but don't count on it. Kind of get organized and then bring it to an expert and have it drafted properly, legally, and all that. Is that
Absolutely.
right? So, um, on an end note, I just want to bring in one more thing, and I always like to talk about mindset. And I think we should talk about mindset on every single call, because I think what really gets in our way, and the clients that I deal with, the clients that you deal with, Sunny, what gets in people's way, so it's not just you who's listening to this conversation, it's you're one of many, is you get in your way. You need to feel, if you're feeling like really squirmy and uncomfortable and like, oh my God, like what are you talking about? That's a sign from your body saying, let's get this shit together. That's a sign that you need to get organized. So if insurance just makes you go, oh, I insurance, I am not sure. Like, I've never dealt with that. Or if a will kind of makes you feel, oh my God, like what am I even going to put in a will? I can't die. You need to get a will organized. We are here to tell you that this stuff is just stuff that you can figure out. You can get this organized. You've got it. You've got this. So Sunny, one last piece of advice, one note to everyone. Wills and insurance, and why do we not do it? Help us out.
I think we're afraid of the unknown. And this is why you're going to lean on that army more than ever. You get that good insurance specialist in your court, they're going to help you. You don't have to figure this out on your own. And you have a good family lawyer that wants to help you. They are going to walk you through the steps. So just go and get walked through the steps. Don't try to figure it out by yourself.
That's good advice. I love it. Okay, everyone, till we see you next week, have a good one. And thanks for the chat again, Sunny.
It's awesome, Wendy.
Bye-bye.
Our mindset is a choice. If you want to learn more, check out this video. I will show you how to step into an owner mindset without feeling bad about anything that you have said or done in the past.